You are not ugly, you are neglected with no direction. And they told you all you had to be was a good person. That's what they told you your whole life. Since you were a little kid, be a good person, be kind and read a book and focus on your studies and focus on your career and everything will pan out for you. I can tell you as a personal stylist for over 10 years, that is not true. But let's break that down more intensely on like why that's not just true, right? Because let's say you are like several of my clients, right? A really big majority of them, you are really over indexed on your career and education. So you're probably an attorney, you're a professional, you are a consultant, you're a speaker, you're an author, you're a business owner. Like you have done the things that require a lot of work, right? Like you have studied for years and gotten to great universities and spoken here and traveled here and have been brought out here. Like you've really like built up a repertoire in the space of like knowledge and having insight or being seen as really smart, and I love that for you. I Kudos to the girlies, kudos to the guys who really are focused and driven in that way. I love that. As someone who really lived on that track for a huge part of my life, I understand you and I see you. But there is one part of your life that you're going to get to once all of these check marks are done where you realize, ooh, the rest of my life is kind of slacking and lacking, but I'm winning big time over here, right? So I've got this law practice, but like I've been single for a while. The women that I attract are all dusty, or, the men that I attract are all no's, right? Like I'm attracting these people who are not on my level, or I've put in all this work at my company and, I've been with them for 8 years and they won't see me as a VP. They don't see me as a director. They don't see me as someone who can be in front. Like they're not promoting me, they're not pushing me. There are so many kind of like walls that you're going to hit in life where just being brilliant or hardworking without having an image that is in alignment with that, they are going to be going head to head. And for many people, if you don't have someone like access to somebody like me around, you do online, I guess, right? Or if you don't have somebody in your life who's gonna be like, hey, maybe the reason they're not promoting you is because you always look like you just rolled out of bed. You never look like someone who's in charge or taken to be taken super seriously. Just kind of like someone who can do the job well that you kind of put in the back, right? Or you kind of just look like someone that a guy can easily approach with no effort and he can just be whatever. We're not understanding that the image that we put up, it already starts to speak to people's mind on how they should perceive you and receive you and interact with you. So it's not that people are not dealing with you correctly, you're not presenting yourself correctly. So if you've gotten yourself this far, putting in so much work, and yet you're not feeling like you're like yielding all the fruits of your labor, it's probably your image. It's probably your image. If you studied, passed the bar, you've had your own practice, you've been working here doing well, they've been telling you how great you do at every quarterly meeting, and but like the things aren't clicking socially or like holistically for you, where it's like I feel really good in my romantic life, or my confidence is really high, or I feel like I really am living the life I imagine. It's probably your image. And I say it's probably your image because in so many other areas of your life, people will kind of say something, right? People might say, hey, why don't you go back to school? Hey, why don't you do this? Hey, why don't you put your money over here? Why don't you invest in this? But when it comes to your image, everyone is, oh, you look just fine, honey. Fine. Oh, you look fine. Don't say that. It's fine. They're not helpful. They're not helpful at all. And so you'll be spinning your wheels over and over trying to figure out, like, okay, what do I do? What degree do I go get? What do I do? Let me tell you a story. I had this client and we started working together, and about 3 months in, we're chatting, we're doing another check-in, we got another session going on, and she's like, Carla, I've got to update you. I literally have just gotten a promotion. It's been like 3 months. And she's like, I haven't gotten another degree. I haven't lost any weight. I haven't gone and networked and did anything crazy outside of work. The only thing is, I changed my hair, my wardrobe, and how I started showing up to work. I was doing the same work. the same person. But they now started seeing me as more of a leader, aka someone they could put in front to represent the group and the company, someone who they could send to that conference and send to that meeting with this client. They started seeing her as that person. So they started putting her in those positions and realized, oh, she could do this the whole time. And then we're like, oh, we're going to promote you and pay you more in 3 months. But nobody would have told her that. First of all, no one at your job can tell you that. I just want to let you know. I want to let you know, like, that's a big HR issue. What they will do is often bring in somebody like me, because I've done this for companies, where they bring in someone like me to talk to the group. Right, let's talk to the group, and they'll say, talk to the group, help them see why this image matters and how it can really, help scale their role and their business and yada yada. So I will go there and talk to them all about image and impression and really how it affects bottom line, etc. That's what most companies will do. Not most, I'll say some companies will do. I've only had one company where they actually hired me to do a actual makeover for their employees. The rest of y'all are on your own. Okay. So most of you are on your own. And understand this. That example of that client that I gave, she was working in that company and was like overlooked the whole time. During our first consultation, she told me like, yeah, like I'm hoping that this can like affect my job as well. Like for her, she really wanted her confidence and just like the ease, make this part of her life really easy and enjoyable again. And it ended up affecting every area, as it will. I don't know how to tell you guys. When you improve your image for your good, it will affect every part of your life. I'm talking about romantically, socially, financially, in your confidence, in the way you like will speak up for yourself. I mean, it's going to trickle into everything. But my bigger topic here is that understand you have to do more than just work really hard and be a good person. You've got to show up in a way that is in alignment with the hard work you are doing. You are saying that you want to be a speaker across the world, but you always look like you're running 5 minutes late and just rolled out of bed. That'll get you this far. And then at some point, there's going to be this tension, this friction where you're going to be trying to go on bigger stages and it's always going to be like a closed door. It's always going to be like, it's always going to be like a looked over. And I promise you, if that same speaker who's already doing well, who's already captivating, who's already doing all the right things, were to tweak how they showed up in their image, more doors would open. Because people are simple. We have to remember that the decision makers are just simple human beings like us. And we just want to understand what's coming across our feed, or coming across our table, coming across our email, right? So when it's this person who's, proposing to do X, Y, and Z, and you look at them, you're like, I don't know. This sounds like a good idea, but maybe we find someone else. They like the idea, they just don't like who's presenting it. And that can happen. And that's why I want you to take more ownership and authority as to what you can have in your life by being in direct in control of your image. And I don't sit here and say, when I say image, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying go to Columbia and schedule 3 surgeries. I'm talking about everyday organic glow ups. I talk about the 3 things that really move the needle. That's style that likes you back, hair that likes you back, and skin/makeup. Right? Because not everyone wears makeup. I got my guys like grooming. These are century-old tactics that worked then and work now. When people wanted to, be in the social scene and be getting married or dating, like they would start showing up a certain way back then. They're trying to attract the good flies. They're trying to put honey out there. But sometimes I think we get so smart and we get so educated and so deep that we forget that people are just humans. And humans just want to see people who look put together and trustworthy and look good and smell good and can do the job well. It's really, really simple, but I guess it's not easy. I guess it's not easy because not everyone's doing it. Most people are not. And when you're not doing that, understand that you are going to keep hitting a wall. until you lock in and realize that not only do you have to be a good person and show up and be great, but you've also got to look the part so that you can get the life that you've always wanted. And if you want some help with your image and you need some direction, whether with clothes or with your hair or any of the above, or maybe all of the above, let's start there. Then you can reach out to me. Let's start with your consultation and we will create a whole map and a plan to get you from where you are right now to your dream life. Promise to hold you by the hand through the whole process. You can reach out via email or somewhere on the socials. Toodles.